Good afternoon. The reorganization meeting of the Middlesex County Board of Chosen Freeholders will please come to order. The notice of this meeting pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-10, has been complied with and shall be entered into the minutes of this meeting. Please take a moment to be sure that all cell phones are silenced at this time. Thank you. Unfortunately, Freeholder Stephen Pete Delina is unable to be with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our newly elected freeholders, H. James Polos and Ronald G. Rios, escorted by freeholders Carol Barrett-Belante, Christopher Rafano, Charles Tamaro, and Blanquita Valenti, along with the Middlesex County Police and Fire pipes and drums.
My band, finish your voice then. On the right, quick, march.
Please rise as the color guard of the Middlesex County Sheriff's Office and the Middlesex County Office of Adult Corrections and Youth Services present the colors and remain standing for the flag salute, national anthem, and invocation. Please join longtime friend of the Rafano family, Warden Ed Chicky, who will lead us in the salute to the flag of our country.
Please honor our country by repeating the Pledge of Allegiance with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please welcome Nicolette Polos, a freshman at Highland Park High School and daughter of freeholder H. James Polos, who will sing the Star-Spangled Banner.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous is still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Oh, down. Whew. Left. Huh. Oh, Whew. Left. 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 Right. Left. 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 Right. Oh, right. Oh, left. Right. Left. 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 Left.
It is my pleasure to introduce Reverend Nicholas Postrikos of St. George Greek Orthodox Church in Piscataway, who will offer the invocation.
Before I offer the invocation, allow me to say a few words about Jim Polis, if that's okay, of course. Every organization has a go-to guy. When I came here about 2 years ago and I met for the first time my predecessor, Father Alex Kyle, God rest his soul, first thing that he tried to do was he tried to point out to me Mr. Jim Polis, and he said, "You see this guy right there?" I said, "Yeah, Father, who is he?" He said, "This is Mr. Polis, and this is your go-to guy." And he tells me that whatever it is that you need done, Jim Polis is your go-to guy. My friends, what a beautiful human being this Jim Polis is. This man will do whatever it is and whatever he needs to do that is within his power. And if he can't, he will find someone or some way who will be able to do it. God has truly blessed our Jim Polis, and we are blessed to have him. From the time Hurricane Sandy came our way and created havoc and devastation to our state, Jim Polis has never stopped helping, caring, and finding solutions for his country, for his county, and for his constituents. They say that politics can be chaotic and very tumultuous. Thank God for our Jim Polis, because Jimmy is truly a fresh of breath air in a society of dog-eat-dog in which we live in today. I pray the Lord will continuously bless Jimmy and his family, keep him strong and healthy, so that he can continue his work of sacrifice and unselfishness to his people, to his constituents. And now, let us pray. O Lord, O Heavenly Father, you who guides and governs everything with order and love, we pray to you today to please look upon this assembly of our local leaders and fill them with the spirit of your wisdom. May they always act in accordance with your will, and their decisions be for the peace and well-being of our country, our state, and our local municipalities. Also, Lord, you who are the Comforter, the Spirit of truth, who is present everywhere and fillest all things, the treasury of blessings and the giver of life, we pray to you, we beseech you to dwell in our hearts as we hold in prayer our brothers and sisters who have suffered and are suffering the ravages of Hurricane Sandy. Embrace them, O Lord, in your love and keep them safe. Enable us to keep reaching out to them in acts of philanthropy and generosity. And as we close this very important and meaningful program, let us pray also for those innocent teachers, administrators, and above all, for those very innocent children who were killed by the senseless attack at the Sandy Hook Elementary School on 9/11 in Sandy Hook, Connecticut. Help us, O Lord, to find answers on how to prevent these senseless attacks upon our innocent, and show us the way to a new era, an era of peace and love amongst ourselves. This we ask, O Lord, in your name. Amen.
You may be seated. Middlesex County Clerk Elaine Flynn will read the certification of elections for the members of the Board of Chosen Freeholders and surrogate.
Thank you, Margaret. Good afternoon, everyone. 3 years ago, when I stood here to read the certification of elections, I looked at one of the names, and it was H. James Polis. Does anybody remember, I said to him, what does the H stand for? Does anybody remember what he said? Nobody? He said honorable. I thought that was wonderful. It was a good uptake, and guess what? He has a different name, but you'll have to ask me on the side for that. State of New Jersey, County of Middlesex. A statement of the determination of the Board of County Canvassers relative to an election held in the County of Middlesex on the 6th day of November in the year of our Lord 2012 for the election of freeholder and surrogate. The said board did determine that at said election, H. James Polis and Ronald G. Rios were duly elected member of the Board of Chosen Freeholders for the County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, as was Kevin Hoagland Sr., made surrogate. I do hereby certify that the foregoing is a true and full and correct statement of the determination of the Board of County Canvassers as filed in the office of the County Clerk of Middlesex. It witness thereof, I have therefore set my hand this 28th day of November in the year of our Lord 2012 by Sylvia Engel, Chairman of the County Board of Canvassers, and Elaine Flynn, County Clerk. The best wishes to the three of them. Thank you.
At this time, I would like to call upon Freeholder-elect H. James Polos of the Borough of Highland Park to be sworn in as a member of the Middlesex County Board of Chosen Freeholders. I call upon the Honorable Travis Francis, Assignment Judge of the Superior Court, Middlesex Vicinage, to administer the oath of office. Holding their family's Bible for Freeholder-elect Polos are his wife Rita, daughters Nicolette, Angela, and Sophia.
This is truly a pleasure. Freeholder Paulus has been a long-standing supporter of the Middlesex County Courts, and I look forward to our continuing to work together. All right. Please place your left hand on the Bible, raise your right, and repeat after me. I, H. James Polos,
I, H. James Polos,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United States and in this state,
in the United States and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially, and justly
impartially, and justly
perform all of the duties
perform all of the duties
as a member of the Middlesex County Board of Chosen Freeholders,
as a member of the Middlesex County Board of Chosen Freeholders,
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedules to be with us today and celebrate this wonderful reorganization that we do each year. It's a very important moment for county government to come together, to reorganize, and to talk about what we've done and what we hope to do. Before I make a few remarks, there are a few thank yous that I want to extend. First of all, I'd like to thank Margaret, my colleagues, my running mates for their support and help. It's been wonderful, and thank you. We're looking forward to another 3 years, and Margaret, thank you for organizing everything today. First and foremost, I want to thank my lovely family. You know, those of you who are elected officials in particular, or those of you who may volunteer for organizations, realize how much time it can take out of your family life and out of your personal time in order to be effective and good at what you do. I couldn't help when I was listening to Nicolette sing a few minutes ago, reflecting 12 years ago when my wife was holding her and she was about 2 years old at that time, and Nicolette, you were in a little red dress. It just seems so fitting to have you here today, so thank you so much for sharing your beautiful voice with us. And to my lovely wife and daughters, Angela and Sophia, thank you for all the time, consideration, support that you give me each day, every meeting. Sometimes we're rushing to do homework at night and make up time, but I know that you know I'm trying to do the best that I can at my work at the county, and thank you for your support and love. I also want to thank my extended family, my in-laws, particularly my mother-in-law, who comes over many evenings when Rita's home alone to help with the kids. So thank you so much for all of your help and support. To all of my family, to all of my kumbadi, everyone who is here this evening, thank you so much for your love and support. It really is wonderful to have all of you here, and I can't thank you enough for the support that you give me each and every day. I also want to thank the County Democratic Organization, Chairman Barnes, and all the committee people for their continued support and advice and consult and input. And I also say that of all the local officials who are here today. I've enjoyed over the years, and it's been 15 since I've been at the county, a wonderful working relationship with our mayors and council people and business administrators and police chiefs. And to have such a close working relationship with each and every one of you has meant a lot to me. I've listened to your counsel, I've listened to your criticism, I've listened to your suggestion. We've tried to implement new programs, and most importantly, I've always seen it as my function, job, and responsibility to try to be there for you, to assist you with everything that you need for your communities. It is, after all, what I see county government's role. County government is here to assist, to help facilitate, to provide support to our communities. In addition to the county governance that we need to do, our main and primary goal, as I see it, is to assist and help all of you. This year in January, I took over as chairperson of Public Safety and Health. I must tell you, I never anticipated in January of this year, when I was going to take over as chairman of this committee, that I would be involved with so many disasters, so many issues, so much loss of life, so much to have to deal with. If you think about what we've been through in this past year, it is somewhat difficult to review what you have done, but it almost seems more important to have to reflect on what we've done and reflect on what's happened. Superstorm Sandy was something that no one ever expected or anticipated. And in my role as Chair of Public Safety and Health, I had the opportunity that some of you perhaps didn't have, and that was to actually be out in the communities in the midst of the storm to understand and see firsthand what every resident, every local official, every emergency responder had to deal with. To see that devastation firsthand was something that I think I will never forget. I was going to speak today, as I normally do. It's a time to review what we talk about, but instead I elected to reflect on what happened and to reflect on the impact that it had on me, because I think it had a similar impact on all of you. Not only did we have to weather that storm and those issues and continue to have to do that each and every day, we were then side-slapped with this incident that took place in Connecticut in Newtown, with 20 children being slain. And just the day before, I was in Piscataway at a beautiful elementary school instructing over 600 kindergarten through third graders about a new traffic safety video we were doing in the county. And as I said at a Freeholder meeting, I couldn't help but think of those eyes and those smiles that I saw the day before when that incident took place, thinking that they were going to school to learn and to be motivated and to be excited about what was going on, never expecting that type of a tragedy to take place. They didn't deserve that. They certainly didn't deserve that. They deserve the opportunity that every other child has when they go to school, to learn and prosper and grow and have new opportunities. But we had to absorb that as well. You know, in the oath of office that we take, it says that you need to faithfully, impartially, and justly perform. Sometimes as elected officials in today's world, it doesn't seem to be appropriate to talk about faith. It almost is the wrong thing to talk about. And while I agree with separation of church and state, I certainly believe that faith is a very important part of our fiber and what we mean. Faith and hope are not words that we need to reach for anymore. I think faith and hope are words that we need to hold on to. Faith and hope are words that we need to hold on to in times of trouble, times of disaster, times of despair. Much like a rope and an anchor holds a boat in rocky waters, faith and hope are what we need to lean on and hold on to and support in order to make sure that we can make it through the difficult times. It was faith and hope, ladies and gentlemen, that got this county, these communities, and these residents in this county through the Superstorm Sandy. They didn't do it alone. They did it based on 4 basic principles: faith, hope, I also believe caring, and cooperation. It was amazing to see how many people came out to help. All socioeconomic levels, all colors, all religions, businesses, private sector, nonprofits, state, federal, county, everyone trying to work together to help the people who needed it the most. Thousands of people came together with a common goal and a common cause, and hopefully a common result. It was an amazing, amazing thing to see. And to be a part of it at the county level was something that I will never forget. It's very near and dear to my heart, and it was important to live through it because it was a great learning experience. Not only for what we could physically do in way of response, but what we can hopefully do in the future by way of preparing. What I see that we were able to do is something that I hope we can all aspire to in 2013, to carry that same type of mindset of cooperation, caring, and faith and hope, to continue to work together in a positive and constructive way, to reach deep inside of ourselves and realize that when you're an elected official, it means so much to so many people. You know, we can't just see anymore, we need to have a vision. We can't just hear anymore, we need to listen. We can't just know anymore, we need to understand. And I submit to you that we can't just simply vote, but we need to vote with conscience and meaning. We need to understand what we're doing and why. 31 years ago, a long time ago, a little old lady, beautiful woman, beautiful, beautiful woman, Schatzberg family, lived very nearby me. I was raised on 4th Avenue in Highland Park, and Mrs. Schatzberg came to me before I became a councilman, and I was involved with our local Democratic Party, and she said to me, with a beautiful little voice, "Jimmy," she says, "I get so tired walking from Raritan Avenue back to my house." Now, those of you who've been through Highland Park know we have the main drag, and then the homes fall off of Raritan Avenue. She said, I wish there was a way that I could have a place to rest because myself and my friends can't walk that far to get home, and we don't want to take the bus. Well, I had an idea, and those of you who've worked with me for the last 15 years know what that can mean. And I picked the phone up and I called a gentleman by the name of Vincent Martino. Now, some of you know Vinny. Vinny was a freeholder at the time. I don't know if he's here tonight, but if he is, I want to say publicly thank you. Vinny was a wonderful gentleman. I called him up and I said, Vince, here's the situation. I have a couple of elderly people who would like to walk back and forth, and I was wondering if I could get a park bench from you. Well, he facilitated it, and a couple of weeks later, park benches were put at 3rd and Magnolia and 3rd and Mansfield. Now, 30 years later, those benches are still there. Concrete and wooden benches like you see in a park. The wood's changed to protect the innocent, but the concrete still remains, and those benches are still helping those individuals. But the moment that bench went in, and the moment that Mrs. Schatzberg sat on that bench the next day, and I was out to see her, she thanked me. And I have to tell you, it was the best feeling in the world that that woman appreciated and needed that help, and it was something that I was able to do. I have to tell you, I think about that park bench a lot, because once you lose touch with those important elements as elected officials, you lose sense of reality. We always need to remember our park benches, and I will bet you that every elected official in this room today has their own park bench story. The first time that you did something to help someone, the first time someone called you or saw you and said thank you, and shook your hand and said, I really appreciate what you did. And it didn't have to be significant to you, but it was to them. That's what being an elected official is all about. That's why I enjoy this position so much. That's why it's so important that we remain grounded in our faith and in our hope and in our beliefs and what we represent as elected officials to represent the people who duly elected us and have such faith and confidence in us. I would be remiss today if I didn't ask my heroes from Superstorm Sandy to stand for a moment. I'd like to ask the members of the public safety, health, infrastructure departments, and all of those members of our county government who participated in Superstorm Sandy, who were there every day, countless hours, to please rise for a round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, these are true heroes, and they've done a wonderful job, and I want to thank them. Public safety and health, please stand and rise. Having spent many hours down there, I can tell you that they did an enormous amount of work to work with our communities, and our volunteers did an absolutely fantastic job, something that we couldn't have done without them. So in closing, I thank you for your support and your continued trust. And that's something that I take very, very seriously. We have a wonderful county and a great county government, but we can do better. We can work harder. We can be smarter. We can have the vision, and we don't have to lose touch with our faith and hope, cooperation, and caring in order to do those things. Our goals can be clear, and with your support and help and cooperation, we can accomplish them in many ways. So thank you again. A happy and healthy New Year to all of you.
At this time, I would like to call upon Freeholder-elect Ronald G. Rios of the Borough of Carteret to be sworn in as a member of the Middlesex County Board of Chosen Freeholders. I call upon the Honorable Alan Comba, Judge of the Municipal Court in the Borough of Carteret, to administer the oath of office. Holding the Bible for Freeholder-elect Rios is his wife, Mickey.
Repeat after me. Raise your right hand. I, Ronald G. Rios,
I, Ronald G. Rios,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same,
and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority
under the authority
of the people,
of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
of member, Middlesex County Board of Chosen Freeholders,
of member of Middlesex County Board of Chosen Freeholders
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability,
So help me God.
so help me God.
You're going to have to come back. You have to stay up here.
Welcome, everyone, and thank you all for coming. Reverend clergy, members of the judiciary, my freeholder colleagues, elected officials, and everyone in attendance. I would like to wish everyone a happy and healthy new year. I would like to thank all of those who supported me in this last election. It's an honor to continue to serve all the people of Middlesex County. I am truly grateful and humbled to be your freeholder. Last but not least, I want to thank my wife, Mickey, and my family for their support while I hold public office. Though this commitment is sometimes challenging to family life, they have always been by my side. I had the privilege in this past election to run with two individuals who served this county extremely well, Jim Polos and Kevin Hoagland. It was a pleasure running with you guys. I do have to say that since this was the first time I ran with Kevin, and even though I have known Kevin for a few years, I have to say honestly that we established a strong friendship well beyond this campaign. I got to know him real well from our 106 campaign stops throughout this year in this county. He's a gentleman and a hard worker, and with that Irish wit, well, he made this campaign a lot of fun. Kevin, thanks again for your friendship. "2012 brought many challenges to our county. With the continued cuts in federal and state aid, Superstorm Sandy, and all the related problems as a result of the storm, we were able to maintain the same level of service to all our residents. There will be many more challenges that lie ahead for 2013, but I'm sure with the workforce we have across the board, we're up to the task. Last year, we were able to start a new program for our veterans, something that's near and dear to my heart, and I'm grateful to my colleagues for supporting me in instituting this program that will hopefully continue this year, that will end or avoid homelessness for our veterans who have given so much for every American. To our veterans, I say thank you. As a freeholder, and a longtime Middlesex County resident, I would like to extend the heartfelt thoughts and prayers from all the residents of this fine county to the community of Newtown, Connecticut. Your pain, your loss is immeasurable. And I can only hope that you know your neighbors to the south of you have all of you in our hearts. And I hope that political leaders nationwide take this tragedy seriously and focus not only on strict background checks for gun purchases, but also on intense mental health programs and funding so that tragedies like this one in Connecticut and others will never, ever happen again. My fondest wish for 2013 is we all find peace. My Freeholders colleagues and I are committed to serving and protecting the people of Middlesex County. It is our first priority and the reason we chose to serve in this capacity. My hat's off to those on this dais and every one of our employees for dedicating themselves to ensuring that our residents are safe, that they receive the services they need, that they have the parks and recreational facilities they desire, and that they have quality schools, health care, and economic opportunities. I look forward to continuing my service on this board of chosen freeholders and working toward making Middlesex County the best it can be. Thank you, and may God continue to bless Middlesex County and the United States of America.
At this time, I would like to call upon Surrogate-elect Kevin Hoagland Sr. of the City of New Brunswick to be sworn in as Middlesex County Surrogate. I call upon the Honorable John Keefe Sr., retired Judge of the Appellate Court, to administer the oath of office. Holding his family Bible for Surrogate-elect Hoagland, our son Kevin Jr., daughter Morgan, parents John and Ellen Hoagland. Also joining Kevin are his siblings Gary, John, Chris, and Diane, and Deputy Surrogate Eileen Weber.
Right here.
You have to get a bigger stage here. Well, this is the 5th occasion that I've had the honor of administering the oath of office to my nephew. It's a memorable one, and I guess I won't have to throw the robe away. At least I'll keep it for another 5 years, Kevin? Okay. Kevin is one of the few public servants, because of his position, that most of his constituents can want to stay away from.
Thank you.
Okay, Kevin, repeat after me. I, Kevin John Hoagland Sr.,
I, Kevin John Hoagland Sr.,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance thereto,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance thereto,
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of people,
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
of the office of Middlesex County Surrogate
of the office of Middlesex County Surrogate
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. I don't think that's turned on, Kim.
Well, tell somebody to turn it on.
Could we have the microphone turned on, please?
Is it working now? No? Is it off on the switch?
Technical difficulties.
You want to switch the microphone? Hello?
Oh, there it is.
Can you just tilt that more? Thank you. You know, every 5 years, you think they get this right for me, but... First, I would like to thank everyone for being here today to help Jim and Ron and myself celebrate our swearing in. Today, we celebrate the beginning of a new year. And for those of us who were elected or re-elected in November, we celebrate the beginning of our new terms. There are so many people to thank, and Jim mentioned some, and Ronnie mentioned some. I want to begin by thanking the 163,345 people who voted for me and helped me those 163,000 people helped me stay in a job that I have come to truly love and that I honor and cherish. It is a privilege for me to be the surrogate for all 850,000 people in Middlesex County. And I certainly want to begin by thanking our chairman, Peter J. Barnes, Jr., for his leadership and guidance. As any one of us who run on the county level can tell you that we don't do this alone. The organization that Peter Barnes chairs is of second to none. We are the envy of every Democratic or Republican organization in this state or any other state. And a large part of that thanks goes to our executive director, Dana Corbin. And I also want to thank her assistants, Craig Yetzko and Everett Falk, for without them, Rios and Polis and Hoagland wouldn't know where we were going or when we were supposed to be there during the 8 months of that we campaigned. And Ronnie Rios mentioned 106 campaign stops. It was probably more than 106 when you count the ribbon cuttings, groundbreakings, and parades. But we certainly had a great time, and I could not ask for two better running mates than H. James Polis and Ron Rios. And when you're with them, as much as I was with them, you learn a few things about them that you may not have known before. Jim and I ran 15 years ago together in 1997, my second time, his first for Freeholder. I did not know that Jim Polis actually was born and raised in New Brunswick. So Tommy Kelso, we get some credit for Jim Polis. I know Highland Park tries to take all of it, but we get a little bit of it. And I know for certain his daughters did not get the voice that she has from her father. It must have come from her mother. Because I've heard Jimmy sing, and not even close to Nicolette. And what I also learned about Ron Rios, God bless him, born in Brooklyn, raised in Port Reading, long-time resident of Carteret. I knew Ron back when he was a councilman in Carteret, and I got to know him a little bit better when he was a freeholder, first became a freeholder. But after 106 or better campaign stops, you get to know a guy pretty well. And I got to tell you that I don't know if there's a harder working, more dedicated, more consumed guy who cares so much about everyone here in Middlesex County than Ronnie Rios. And I am so happy to call him my friend. And of course, none of this happens today without my good friend Margaret Pemberton, clerk to the board. And I hope you'll understand when I ask my friend Sharon Sutton, my secretary in the surrogate's office, to come up and help me present a token of my appreciation to Margaret. And no, John Polos, I will not be putting a voucher in for these. I went for these on my own, John, so my county administrator won't be sweating about it. So Margaret, thank you for doing what you do for all of us on these reorganization days. Margaret is not just the clerk to the board, but a very, very good friend. I also want to thank those people who supported us during this campaign. So many people came out, the committee men and committee women, the chairs and the vice chairs of all 25 towns. And I can't thank you enough for that support. I also want to thank our friends from Labor, Tommy Ty and the AFL-CIO, all the men and women from the building trades, our friends from AFSCME, and certainly the Middlesex County Education Association, and all of the organized labor people who supported us. We could not have been as victorious as we were without them, and I want to thank them as well. As my Uncle Jack, known to you all as Judge Keefe, said, this is the 5th time for me. 20 years ago, when I first became surrogate, there were no satellite offices, there were no early morning hours, there were no evening hours. And I have to tell you that our surrogate's office in Middlesex County is, without question, the best surrogate's office in the state of New Jersey. And that's not because of me. That's because of the 11 people that work with me every single day. They are like my second family. I could not ask for better people to work with than those people that work in the surrogate's office, who every single day make sure now that we can go to those 10 satellite offices. Not 2, not 4, not 6, 10. More than any other surrogate's office in this state or any other state. And they also make sure that they're there at 8 o'clock in the morning and every Tuesday night for those people who need our services early in the morning or in the evening. And I want to thank them individually, and I want them to stand up because I know they're here. Diane McCormick, John Zerman, Marissa McLean, Kathy Dwyer, Bridget Egan, my special deputy, Nikki Pasquino, Heather Antonuccio. You know what? I'm 53, I'm getting old. Shannon Urbanowitz, Susan Lombardo, and of course, you heard me introduce my secretary, the woman who keeps me straight every day, Sharon Sutton. Thank you all for the job that you do. And as my Uncle Jack said, we probably need a bigger stage for my real family. 20 years ago, there was no Kevin Jr. or Morgan. I'm proud to tell you that they're now 18 and 19. Kevin is at James Madison in his 2nd year and doing very well. Morgan is in her 1st year at the School of Nursing at your college, and maybe because of her father, she made the dean's list, but you know, I will take credit for that, thank you. But I'm so very proud of them and so grateful that they're here. And I want to thank my brothers, my twin brother Gary and my brother John and Chris and my sister Diane for being here. I want to make special mention of my godmother, Aunt Ann Haggerty's here, along with Uncle Jack's beautiful wife, Aunt Jerry. I could not do this without my family. That goes without saying. And then there's the 2 older people that walked up on the stage. You know, Ellen Hoagland, my mother, better known as Nana Mabes to most, is the glue that holds our family together. And she still shakes her head to this day and really probably never wanted me to get involved in politics. But she had no choice, and she supported me in every way possible, and I can't thank her enough. And then there's the guy who, for the last 20 years, has been coming up here and every 5 years it gets a little grayer. But, you know, he's looked pretty good for 82. And for those of you who are a little older, you might remember him as a commissioner in New Brunswick, and then you might remember him when he served on this Board of Chosen Freeholders with George Atlowski and Steve Capestro and Tommy Molyneux and Jack Phillips. And then later on, he served with great distinction as the county council for 13 years for Middlesex County. He taught me everything that I know about what a privilege and an honor it is to hold elective office. And without hesitation, I tell you that he's not just my father, he is my best friend. And I will also tell you that he is the one person that all these years I've tried to emulate. And I can tell you, if I'm half the man he is, then I'll consider myself to be a pretty good guy. And I want to thank my father for showing me the way and helping me to understand how important it is to do the best job that I could possibly do. So, Pop, thank you for everything you do. Now, those who know me best, my family, the people who work with me, are wondering, man, I forgot somebody. I didn't forget anybody. 20 years ago, when I first became the surrogate, I had the great fortune of inheriting a deputy surrogate named Richard Watson, who was second to none as a deputy surrogate in this state or any other state. And if you don't believe me, you can talk to any attorney or any judge that dealt with Richard, and they'll tell you the same thing. 8 years ago, Richard decided to retire after 30 years of service to this county. And probably the most difficult decision that I've ever had to make was, who do I replace Richard Watson with? It had to be somebody who was very smart, someone who understood the inner workings of the surrogate's office, someone who was tough because she has to deal with attorneys all day, someone who had great compassion because of the people that we work with each and every day, the people who have lost loved ones, the people who are ready to have loved ones declared incapacitated. So this person had to be all of those things. And there was only one person that I could think of that had all those traits and then some. And 8 years later, she is still my deputy surrogate. She is the first female deputy surrogate in the history of Middlesex County. And I will ask Sharon Sutton to come up again. And no, John, I did not put a voucher in for these either. I want to thank publicly my friend and my deputy surrogate, Eileen Weber. And I want to just conclude by saying that when I look at the Freeholder Board and Elaine Flynn and Sheriff Scott, I can't tell you how proud I am to be part of this great county government. And I always think of our late, great Freeholder Director, David Craybill. And I believe what he believed, that we are the greatest county in the land. And I am so proud to be part of that. And I want to thank all of you for allowing me to be the surrogate of Middlesex County. And I hope and pray that I will do the best job and make you all proud of me and make you proud that you helped elect me to be the surrogate. Thank you very much.
I will now call the roll for this reorganization meeting. Freeholder Barrett Belmonte. Here. Freeholder Delina. Freeholder Polos.
Here.
Freeholder Rafano.
Here.
Freeholder Rios?
Here.
Freeholder Tamaro?
Here.
Freeholder Valenti?
Here.
We will now entertain a motion to nominate the director of this board for the year 2013. I recognize Freeholder Charles Tamaro.
Good afternoon, everyone. And I want to congratulate my colleagues, Ron Rios and James Honorable Polis, for the re-election and being sworn in today. And I look forward to working with you the next following year. And I also want to congratulate Kevin Hoagland on his re-election for the surrogate, the best surrogate in the state of New Jersey. It is my honor to serve on this board of chosen freeholders for the past year. The members of this board lead this county with the utmost dedication and integrity, and I am proud to be among them. I must say, 2012 was quite a year. To start in a new position, we certainly had our high points, like building a massive solar panel field that will save energy and millions of taxpayers' monies. And opening of one of my favorite facilities, the Middlesex County Greenway. But Middlesex County was also challenged like never before when Superstorm Sandy hit our region. The massive amount of damage and widespread power outages and the personal material loss that she brought could have brought our government to its knees. But that did not happen here. Why? Because we had a rapid, unified response and a coordinated recovery, all overseen by our excellent freeholder director, Christopher D. Rufano. And that is one of the many reasons that why I enthusiastically nominate Chris Rufano as freeholder director for 2013. I saw Chris in action during the storm. He spent many hours at the command post, leading the support and advice that most importantly, making the decisions that aided our massive response effort. He also was in constant contact with our municipal partners, ensuring that they would need what they had. He continually updated me and the rest of my freeholder colleagues as events and circumstances unfolded, so that we too could assist in the response. He directed like a director should. And because of that, Middlesex County was able to weather the storm and county government was able to serve its residents. Chris Rufano is a friend and he is my colleague. And most importantly, he's an outstanding public servant and a leader. For all those reasons, I enter his name into nomination for freeholder director for 2013.
The name of Freeholder Christopher Rufano has been placed in nomination for director by Freeholder Tamaro. I now recognize Freeholder H. James Polos.
Thank you, Margaret. I think I've had the pleasure of working with Chris the longest out of the members of the board, about 14 years or so. We've gotten to know each other very well over that term and that time period. But in particular, the last couple of years, we've had occasion to work together very closely. And this year in particular, when it did come to the storm and some other issues as well, talking about growth and development and other projects. I have to tell you that I think that Chris is very open-minded. He's been willing to work with all of us, try to take everyone's thoughts and considerations into consideration. I actually asked him when he said that he was going to be considering to run again. I said, "You sure you want to do it?" Because it's not an easy position, those of you who think that it might be. Trying to deal with the different personalities and issues involved with all the boards, all the members of the board, the municipalities and so forth. It's a difficult job. I think he's done a great job this past year in particular, and certainly during his tenure as freeholder director, so I would like to heartily endorse a second on the motion for Chris Rufano for director.
A motion has been made and seconded to nominate Freeholder Christopher Rufano as director of the board. Are there any other nominations? I declare the nominations closed. I will now call the roll for the election of Freeholder Christopher Rufano as director for the year 2013. Freeholder Barrett Belante?
Yes.
Freeholder Polos?
Yes.
Freeholder Rufano?
Yes.
Freeholder Rios?
Yes.
Freeholder Tamaro?
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti?
Yes.
Please join me in a round of applause to welcome the director of this Board of Chosen Freeholders, for the year 2013, Freeholder Christopher Rafano of the Borough of South River. Holding the family Bible for Freeholder Director Rafano are his wife Donna and sons Andrew and Brian. They are joined by Chris's parents, Ann and Bob Rafano. I will now ask the Honorable Travis Francis, Assignment Judge of the Superior Court, Middlesex Vicinage, to administer the oath of office to Freeholder Director Rafano.
You know, I want to congratulate all of the elected freeholders, and congratulations to Freeholder Director Rafano. And I want to thank Sheriff Scott for the services that the Middlesex County Sheriff's Department provides to the Middlesex County court system. You know, the courts of Middlesex County and the Board of Freeholders have maintained a long-standing cooperative working relationship, which was inured, or which has inured, to the benefit of the citizens of Middlesex County and the citizens of the state of New Jersey. You know, the only quality that we have as individuals is what lingers in the minds of others and what we do to help others, and the value of our word, which is often referenced as personal integrity. That quality is emblazoned in the character of Freeholder Director Rafano. As an attorney, he understands that while we represent separate branches of government with separate and distinct constitutional responsibilities, we share a common constituency, namely the people of the state of New Jersey. We also share a common goal, which is to employ individual instrumentalities to protect the quality of life and the interest of justice of the commonweal. The legislative branch of government creates the laws which the executive branch enforces, and we in the judicial branch interpret to ensure that the constitutional principles that these freeholders swear to uphold and protect are not compromised. So again, congratulations, and I look forward to our continued partnership. All right, please place your left hand on the Bible. Raise your right. And repeat after me. I, Christopher D. Rafano,
I, Christopher D. Rafano,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all of the duties
perform all the duties
of Director
of Director
of the Middlesex County
of the Middlesex County
Board of Chosen Freeholders
Board of Chosen Freeholders,
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Guess we just sign. Thanks, kiddo. Good job, man.
Thank you, Judge. To my family, first of all, you know, you guys enable me to perform this job and be in this job, and I love you guys very much. Thank you. To Jimmy and to Ronnie and to Kevin, great speeches. You used up all my time. My distinguished freeholder colleagues, members of the clergy, judiciary, federal, state, county, and local officials, and friends, It is with great honor that I welcome you to the 2013 reorganization of the Middlesex County Board of Chosen Freeholders. I welcome back to the dais Freeholder Deputy Director Ron G. Rios, Freeholder H. James Paulos, and Surrogate Kevin J. Hoagland, and congratulate them for their victories in this past November's election. I would ask that we applaud them, not for their victories, but for their continued and unwavering dedication to the people of Middlesex County. Let's hear it for them. As I begin this, my fourth director's message, I'm grateful to my Freeholder colleagues for their confidence in me to lead this board through 2013. 2012 was a challenging year on many fronts, not the least of which was Superstorm Sandy. Destroying homes, displacing residents, dismantling infrastructure, and causing widespread power outages, Sandy tested our nerve, tested our strength, and tested our resolve. Little did Sandy know that we are a strong community of neighbors and friends who stood together during the storm and who helped each other pick up the pieces afterward. Today, I thank and commend all the heroes who were born of the storm. First responders, schools, houses of worship, nonprofit organizations, corporations, and scores of individuals who did their part to get Middlesex County back on its feet. I witnessed unparalleled teamwork and dedication. From the top down and across all departments, our employees pulled together to serve the people of Middlesex County in their time of need. Generators were deployed, gasoline was procured, roads and bridges cleared of fallen trees and debris, medical attention, emergency shelter, and food were provided to those in need. I was never more proud of our staff than then. Let's give them a round of applause. I tip my hat to Freeholder Ron Rios and Freeholder Jim Paulos, who along with myself spent countless hours at the County Command Center lending support, expertise, and leadership to the response effort. Middlesex County's ability to respond rapidly and effectively grew out of the partnerships we have forged with federal and state agencies and our municipalities. Our response is a strong example of how, on a daily basis, our elected officials, administration, and staff work collectively to serve our citizens. 2 years ago, on this stage, I announced that county government would be reorganized to become more efficient and more responsive. 2012 was the first full year that our new streamlined operational structure took hold. I firmly believe that the restructuring of county government and the establishment of a strong leadership team resulted in a comprehensive, coordinated, and unified response to the storm. Also, it has been this structure and this team that has propelled Middlesex County above the rest. We maintained our AAA bond rating, continued to drive down the cost of government, and established new sources of revenue during one of the most difficult economic times this nation has ever experienced. We have invested in the safety and maintenance of our roads, bridges, and facilities. We have continued to support our award-winning Middlesex County College and vocational schools. We have enhanced our programming and services, and we have embraced technology to better serve the public. 2013 will be no different. At my direction and with my support, my fellow freeholders will drive key initiatives and programs. Under the leadership of Freeholder Deputy Director Ron Rios, we will answer the need for quality senior housing right here in Middlesex County. We will do this by restoring the historic Roosevelt Hospital to accommodate modern apartments for our senior citizens. This project will enable us to maintain and strengthen the historic facade while adapting the inside layout for apartment units. In future phases, other areas of the building will house the medical and social services our seniors need to allow them to maintain their independence. Once again, Freeholder Rios will lead the Middlesex County Veterans Housing Assistance Program. This is a workable, sustainable plan that will prevent and end homelessness for our military veterans and is consistent with our 10-year plan to end homelessness in the county. While federal dollars exist to help veterans with rental assistance, our program does more. It provides help in paying rental arrears, security deposits, temporary rental assistance, and help in finding suitable housing. I commend Ron for spearheading a program that will help our nation's true heroes. Under the leadership of Freeholder Carol Barrett Belante, liaison to the county's Open Space and Recreation Trust Fund, we will explore the possibility of building a minor league ballpark in the southern part of the county at no cost to the taxpayers. The state-of-the-art facility would be the product of a public-private partnership in housing minor league teams such as the extremely successful and popular Somerset Patriots. It will also offer a perfect venue for other popular events such as outdoor concerts and festivals. This will be an incredible addition to the already other recreational opportunities our county offers. In her role as chair of the Finance Committee, Freeholder Barrett Belante will oversee the expansion of the Middlesex County Wellness Program, designed to help our employees find long-term health and wellness solutions. The program will include stop smoking and nutrition programs, medical advice, and personalized wellness plans. This program will be fully funded by our insurance carriers. Once integrated, the program will result in healthier employees, lower absentee rates, and an anticipated 20% reduction in the county's health care costs. Since becoming a freeholder in 1990, Stephen J. Pete DeLina has been the force behind the expansion of our park system from 9 parks to 21. Over the years, he has skillfully supervised the constant upgrading and updating of our facilities. Whether it's the level playing field complex, the family skating rink, adding cricket pitches and turf fields, or using solar panels to power our comfort stations, we have made changes, large and small, to enhance the recreational experience for our residents. Freeholder DeLina and the Parks and Recreation staff will continue that tradition in 2013. A new remote control lighting system will be installed to drive down utility costs and energy use at all of our facilities. We will begin a major project at Merrill Park in Woodbridge that will embrace modern park design and increase safety and accessibility by separating vehicular and pedestrian traffic and adding new walking paths. In addition, the Planning and Parks Office will collaborate on the possible expansion of the Middlesex Greenway farther into Woodbridge to the east and into South Plainfield to the west. Under the leadership of Freeholder H. James Poulos, the Department of Public Safety and Health will continue in 2013 to expand its initiatives and programs. In the aftermath of Superstorm Sandy, Freeholder Poulos took the lead in developing with the Freeholder Board a recovery plan for the county, which included engaging the services of a former New Jersey State Police Lieutenant Colonel with significant emergency management experience who is well-versed in recovery and rebuild procedures. This is essential in order to assist our municipalities with their recovery efforts. We need to do everything possible to help our communities with the complicated FEMA funding application process and coordination necessary to access funds for rebuilding our community. Our new recovery coordinator will begin work immediately. In light of the tragic events that unfolded in Newtown, Connecticut last month, Freeholder Poulos, who chairs our Task Force on School Violence and Emergency Preparedness, will initiate the School Training and Response Teams, or START, which is a program to better prepare schools and communities for school emergencies. I am proud of the work of the School Violence Task Force, which I have supported since its creation 10 years ago. The plans and procedures the group developed became the foundation for the K-12 State School Security Task Force report. Freeholder Poulos also will be focusing on the volunteer emergency services ranks of the county, with the goal of maintaining and growing membership through innovative programs and incentives. These will be developed with information obtained from volunteers in a series of focus group meetings. We could not have made it through the storm without the hard work and dedication of our volunteers. Under the leadership of Freeholder Charlie Tamara, I am proud to announce that the solar project at our Apple Orchard Lane complex in North Brunswick has gone live. This means the county has already begun reaping the benefits of using environmentally friendly power that will save our taxpayers $1 million each year for the next 15 years. Freeholder Tamara also has been instrumental in developing plans for our Department of Business Development and Education, which will soon debut its signature project, a web-based business resource tool that will create and expand municipal public-private partnerships, attract new business, and help existing business grow. By placing it on the web, we are ensuring that it is accessible to anyone located anywhere in the world. Over the years, Middlesex County has had an effective partner in the Middlesex County Regional Chamber of Commerce. But in 2013, we will increase our collaboration with the organization as two very exciting prospects lay on the horizon. First, it was recently announced that Rutgers University will be joining the celebrated Big Ten Conference. Then, in 2014, MetLife Stadium, home to the Giants and Jets, will host the Super Bowl. Each will bring national television coverage and, most importantly, increased travel and tourism dollars to our county. Our hotels, restaurants, theaters, and historic and cultural offerings will benefit greatly. To prepare for these fantastic economic opportunities, the Chamber and its Convention and Visitor Bureau will host the Central Jersey Tourism Conference next Thursday, January 10th. This is another great example of how government and private and public entities can work together to foster economic growth. Under the leadership of Freeholder Blanquita Valente, Chair of the county's Community Services Committee, the welfare of the county's most vulnerable residents will continue to be safeguarded by the successful delivery of quality programs. Middlesex County takes pride in the outstanding service and care provided by the staff at Raritan Bay Mental Health Clinic. In 2013, these services will become even more effective, and the staff will achieve even greater productivity as a new electronic health record system is installed. This system, at the cutting edge of patient care, will improve efficiency for medical and support staff. More importantly, the technology will free up professional staff to better serve the clinic's clients. Freeholder Valente also will guide the Office of Aging and Disabled Services in 2013 as it embarks on a community outreach to educate residents on the many services the office provides. I commend the office for enhancing its response to our residents. To all of you gathered here today, I pledge to you that this Board of Chosen Freeholders will continue to harness our resources and work with our partners and develop new ideas to serve our residents. We will continue to strive toward excellence in county government, never resting on past achievements. We will ensure that Middlesex County is just not a place on a map. It is the best place to live, to work, and to raise a family. Middlesex County is home, and as they say, there's no place like home. Happy New Year and God bless. Thank you. Okay. At this point in time, I'd like to recognize Freeholder Paulos for a motion to spread the director's message upon the minutes of this meeting.
So moved.
I'd like to recognize Freeholder Valente to second the motion.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Freeholder Paulos, seconded by Freeholder Valente. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Okay, now it's time for the election of the deputy director. I'd like to entertain a motion to nominate deputy director of this board for the year 2013. I'd like to recognize Freeholder Barrett Belante.
When Freeholder Rios asked me to nominate him for a fourth term as deputy director, I agreed to do so immediately. Ron is an incredible public servant who never ceases to put the needs of our residents first. This was on full display during Superstorm Sandy, as Ron worked tirelessly to assist our response efforts. I'm proud that Ron is my union brother and is a fierce advocate for workplace safety and awareness. He works every day to make workers throughout the county safer and healthier. He is passionate also about helping those who have served our country. His Veterans Housing Assistance Program picks up where federal programs leave off. Because of Ron, our veterans will have places to live and services to assist them. Ron serves with the utmost integrity, kindness, and compassion. And I am thrilled, honored, and proud to nominate Ronald G. Rios for the position of Deputy Director. And I look forward to working with him again. Thank you.
I'd like to recognize Freeholder Valente for a second of that motion.
Thank you, Director. Good afternoon, everyone. It gives me great pleasure to stand before you now to second the nomination of the dynamic, efficient, and trustworthy Ronald Rios, our Deputy Director. Ron has earned this opportunity once more. He has been exemplary in the work that he has done, as you've heard in the last few minutes. He has always put himself in the place of people in our county, and we trust him completely. He really cares about what happens, not only to our county residents, but of course to our county taxpayers. We have to look for that pocketbook. I think that the best thing he ever did was to marry Mickey. You're lucky she had you. A great lady. Ron, without further ado, I hereby second your nomination for Deputy Director.
A motion has been made and seconded to nominate Freeholder Ron G. Rios as Deputy Director of this board. Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, I declare the nominations closed. The clerk will now call roll for the election of Freeholder Ron G. Rios as Deputy Director for the year 2013.
Freeholder Barrett Galante.
Yes.
Freeholder Polos.
Yes.
Freeholder Rios.
Yes.
Freeholder Tamara.
Yes.
Freeholder Valente.
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rafano.
Yes. At this point in time, I'd like to call upon the Honorable Alan Kamba, Judge of the Municipal Court in Carteret, who will administer the oath of office to Deputy Director Rios. Freeholder Rios' wife, Mickey, will hold the Bible.
Take your time, we'll wait. Don't fall on the water. Repeat after me. I, Ronald G. Rios,
I, Ronald G. Rios,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United States and in this state,
in the United States and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
and justly perform all the duties
of
the office of Deputy Director of the Middlesex County Board of Chosen Freeholders
the office of Deputy Director of the Middlesex County Board of Chosen Freeholders
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Some of you may not know that Freeholder Rios is an avid hunter. You'll be happy to learn that the deer population in the state remained unchanged as a result of his efforts this year.
Thank you, Judge. I would just like to say a few brief remarks. I want to thank my Freeholder colleagues for giving me this honor and privilege to be Deputy Director, and I assure you that I will work tirelessly to support you and all the Middlesex County residents. Thank you.
It's now time for any freeholder to have any discussion on any items listed on the agenda. Any freeholder have any discussion or issue or question with any item listed on the agenda? Okay, hearing none. It's now time to open the meeting up to the public for discussion on any item listed on the agenda. Anyone from the public? I recognize Deputy Director Rios for a motion to close the public discussion.
So moved.
I have a question. Bob Spiegel, Medicine Wetlands Association. I just had a question regarding the comments that were made regarding the greenways and the extension of the potential extension of the greenways into South Plainfield. I just wanted to say that I think that's an excellent idea, and I'd like to just ask what type of expedited timeline can the county look at for extending that incredible greenways that's now open and being used by many, many people throughout the town.
We can get that information to you. Thanks. Anybody else? Okay.
Motion to close.
Second.
Okay. Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Does any freeholder have any resolution they'd like removed from the consent agenda and voted on separately? Hearing none. Mr. Kelso?
Yes, Director, then a motion would be in order to adopt a consent agenda consisting of resolution numbers 13-01 through resolution 13-49.
Need a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Carol Barrett Belante. Roll call.
Freeholder Barrett Belante.
Yes.
Freeholder Polos.
Yes.
Freeholder Rios.
Yes.
Freeholder Tamaro.
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti.
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rapano.
Yes. Okay, I'll ask Margaret, the clerk, to please read the list of committees that have been appointed by me.
Appointments of freeholder committees by the Director for year 2013. Administration Committee, Ronald G. Rios, Chair, Stephen J. Delina, Member. Finance Committee, Carol Barrett Belante, Chair, Blanquita B. Valenti, Member. Infrastructure Management Committee, Stephen J. Delina, Chair, Charles E. Tamaro, Member. Business Development and Education Committee, Charles E. Tamaro, Chair, Carol Barrett Belante, Member. Community Services Committee, Blanquita B. Valenti, Chair, H. James Polos, Member. Public Safety and Health Committee, H. James Polos, Chair, Ronald G. Rios, Member. Freeholder Director Christopher Ruffano is ex officio Chair of all committees.
At this point in time, we usually do introductions. It was difficult to see everybody who was here because it was dark, obviously. But what I'd like to do is just have all the elected officials here, the senators, assembly people, mayors, council people, just stand up for a second for a round of applause from all of us for the great job that you did. Thank you very much. I know there's some former freeholders here, too. If you would please rise. And Mr. Hoagland, I thought I saw Dorothy Power. Camille Fernicola, Jane Brady. Great. And I don't know, is Rennie Travisano here, former clerk? Okay. I do want to recognize Tom Tye, President of the Middlesex County AFL-CIO. Tom, I saw you. And certainly the president of the county college, and also members of the Board of Trustees, Dr. Joanne LaPerla Morales. And Superintendent of Vocational Technical Schools, Brian Laughlin, and the members of the VOTEC School Board. I do want to mention at this point in time there will be a reception following this meeting. It'll be held in a dining area, and it's hosted by the Middlesex County Democratic Organization. Now, at this point in time, I'd like to welcome Reverend Wayne Brady of Grace Lutheran Church in Perth Amboy to offer the benediction.
Please stand as able. Let us pray. God of the past and of the present and of the future, preserve our nation in justice and honor, that we may lead a peaceable life of value. For this county government's commonwealth, you have called some to the public duty. Now grant integrity to all who hold office in our land, and locally to the freeholders and surrogate of this county, and to the county's civil servants, those who do the work of this county, and help them to serve this people according to your intentions expressed in the sacred trust that is our commonwealth. Bless the homes of this county with joy and peace. Enable parents here to raise their children in a spirit of affection and of service to others. Now, this afternoon, send us home in safety. As we set out to travel, make our ways safe and our homecomings joyful. Amen.
We are pleased to have the Middlesex County Police and Fire pipes and drums who will play as we depart this afternoon. I recognize Deputy Director Ron Rios for the purpose of a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Recognize Freeholder Tamaro for the purpose of seconding the motion.
Second the motion.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting adjourned.